Have you heard about Seaweed Doug? I did a deep dive on Sunday, all things Seaweed Doug, to find out who this man was because his drip is 10 out of 10, okay? Doug Billmeyer is the head of vintage and pre-owned clothing at Ralph Lauren, okay? I want that job. Do you want that job? Because I want that job. He travels the world looking at vintage. I'm obsessed, okay? And just wait until you see this lost cabin because it is a 10 out of 10. Looks like a Ralph Lauren store. Seaweed Doug actually designed a ton of the Ralph Lauren stores. If you don't know what to do with vintage, look at those stores because you will be inspired and you will just see things that you wouldn't have thought of. And that's what I just love about Ralph Lauren homes and the Ralph Lauren brand. I'm obsessed and you're about to be too. Okay, let's dive into the lost cabin. Man of the World did a article about it, so please go and read it because it is fantastic. This is where I've got all my information about Doug, and his name is Doug Billmeyer, and it's called Doug Billmeyer's Lost Cabin. And basically, it just gives you a little bit of history and shows you this beautiful, curated, collected cabin that he has created, designed over the past few years. And man, it literally looks like a Ralph Lauren dream. So you walk in, you see this big, huge art. It's got tons of fabrics and patterns. And like each room, it's just like different, like tells a story. Like you could look at this home and find something new every time you looked at it. And that is what makes a timeless collected home that tells your story. So don't get frustrated when you see social media and see somebody like redoing a room and their home looks all curated and collected. Most of the time, it takes a long time to get that look, that feel, to love your home. And like where you walk in and it feels like you. That's going to take years. And that's the beauty of it, is that this doesn't happen overnight. A good home does not happen overnight. So especially this one, because this one definitely took some time. I can tell by the pieces. I mean, he does travel the world for a living looking for antiques, and you can definitely tell, like some of the stuff I'm like, I've never even seen before. And I love to shop for vintage and spent a lot of my weekends growing up going to trade shows. So I have done my fair share of antiquing, and I have not seen some of these things. Like, so I really want you to go and check it out because like, look at this. Okay, he's got an American flag hanging from the roof. He's got like piles of beautiful quilts and the Navajo rugs. So when I was doing my research, I found my deep dive on a Sunday. Okay, not getting anything done that I was supposed to because I definitely fell into a very large hole on Mr. Seaweed Doug. And he shops for a lot of his rugs in Santa Fe. And the rugs are probably my favorite part. I am a rug girl and I'm obsessed with the Navajo rug. It just like brings in like so much color to a room and I love the texture. It just looks incredible. He has them hanging on the walls. He has them on the like layered on the floor. I just think it's incredible. And what is really impressive in this home, in this cute cabin, is all of the little vignettes he has and the way he styled them. You can definitely tell he's a stylist and he's been doing it for years because there's just like so much attention to detail. Like there is a wall lamp and he has put tons of like turquoise necklaces on there, and the way he styles his side tables, I mean, it's just like so much good inspiration. If you want to see like maybe how to incorporate some antiques you have in your home, I would definitely say go check out this cabin and go check out him because you will learn so much just by like looking at these homes that are collected like that. Okay, let's talk about how to get that look like the lost cabin in our homes and without like traveling the world for all the vintage, because what a dream job. I'm sure it has its downfall, but I can't think of much. Okay, anywho, how does he get that look? How does it look so collected? What is that Ralph Lauren look? It's always cozy. Why is it so cozy? Let's talk about it. One thing I noticed is that they layer rugs. Like in any Ralph Lauren home, store, Doug's cabin, all of it has layered rugs, and they do this because it creates such beautiful texture, and also it's another way to add color into a space and tells a story, and I just think it makes it like more unique, right? And every Ralph Lauren home is very unique. They also mix a ton of pattern. This is something I get a little nervous about when I'm designing just because I'm like, oh, does that go together? But the more you look at it, the more you too will know what pairs well together. Okay, So there's lots of layering going on with rugs and also textiles. So in Doug's cabin, he has a ton of stacked quilts. This is gonna be like, in a way, art, and also adds a ton of texture to a home. But in also a typical Ralph Lauren home, you'll see a ton of layered textiles, whether that's on the sofa or in a basket by the sofa, or in this case, on top of a cabinet. It's just like another way to add character to a room. They love to create these little vignettes of antiques that kind of all pair well together. And there's different heights and different textures, and they kind of tell a story. And they're typically in the same color category, color scheme, but it really just depends. But they have a ton of those around the home. And I think this is like another way that you can add like the whole Ralph Lauren vibe to your space. One of the most important things is lighting. There's always more than one light source. You're going to have your lamps, you're going to have your wall lights, and then the candles, and the night lights, and just all the lighting. The more lighting, the better. Okay, that's gonna be what makes your space cozy. Is 100% the lighting, and it's so important. And I noticed this in all of Ralph Lauren's homes, his stores, and in Doug's cabin. What I think you can learn from looking in a Ralph Lauren store or from Doug is the way that he makes it his own and tells his own story. And I feel that when I look at the cabin. I feel like it just tells a story of the years he spent collecting vintage. And I think that when a home feels like a person, that's when you've nailed it. That's when you've got the best interior design, when your home feels like you. And you can do that. You don't need an interior designer. If you need a little help, I do have the hotline. But honestly, you can learn just by looking at designers that you love in like magazines and movies and art, and just collecting it over time and not being in such a rush to create a home, because it does take time and it will change. And that's the beauty of it. Like, think about how you are now and then when you were younger. Like, you've changed so much, right? In our 20s and 30s. And so your design will also progress with you. And that's what's beautiful about interior design. Like, don't feel so rushed, because you don't have to finish your room overnight. Like, slowly collect these pieces and keep a running list, especially when you're shopping vintage. Number one tip, always keep a list. Keep it on your phone of things you're looking for. That way you don't buy stuff that you're not going to need. And it also helps with, like, if you're like me and you're forgetful. So, yeah, those are just some few things that I noticed. Now let's get in on where to shop for rugs and also huge art. Okay, big art. So where can we find it where it's not like, you know, your half your savings? When you're starting out and maybe you don't have as big of a budget, if you do, like, I have lots of recommendations, but if you don't, like myself, you can go to your local college, and they have art shows from the art department, and see what their art shows are. And a lot of those new artists are selling their art for a good price, and it's typically just as good. And also, you are supporting local artists. So I think that's a great way to find large pieces for your home that are affordable, as well as like Etsy and then eBay. Okay, let's talk about something. I have to tell you something. Lean in and let's talk about it. eBay, you can shop multiple countries from America. You just have to check the shipping, okay? And I'm gonna talk about eBay and say that I want you to make sure that you do your research on the seller and that they have a lot of reviews, and double check on the shipping price. Other than that, you can shop eBay France, okay? So take with that what you will, and I think that'd be a good place to shop for art. Another one would be Desenio, like I said, Etsy. And then what I like to do is, even if you're not the best photographer, I am sure that in that iPhone of yours, you probably have some sort of photo that you took that you are proud of, right? Maybe it's from a vacation, or you got to snap on like a road trip. I love it when you get it printed huge on frayed canvas. So it's going to be unwrapped canvas. It makes it look more artistic. It is, I prefer it better than a wrapped canvas. And then let's talk about rugs, okay? And if you have any more, like, say you're like, you have no idea where to find art and you're like, none of those are hitting for you, I have a designer hotline. Just started it. I'm so excited. Basically, it is this hotline you get on, and it makes it easy for you to like find those pieces without hiring a full-time designer. And if you're like looking for something and you can't find it, I can find it for you. 100% I can find it for you. I didn't tell you where I get the big prints printed. Posterburner.com. Okay, so it's posterburner.com. They're running a huge sale. It's Memorial Day, so check that out. Okay, now let's get into rugs. Quick water break. Where is he finding these beautiful rugs from? I love Shiprock Santa Fe. Okay, that's gonna be a little bit pricey, but they are gonna be authentic Navajo rugs and blankets. It's in Santa Fe. Is just go and look, okay, y'all, because it is gorgeous. But if it's a little too pricey, totally understand. Then I would suggest maybe Revival Rugs is gonna be a little bit more affordable, but still great quality rugs. I also love Zara Home. I've found some good stuff on tjmax.com. Okay, don't sleep on it. Speaking of Mr. Ralph Lauren, they have a lot of Ralph Lauren on there. And then, okay, Preston Conrad, I don't know if y'all follow him on TikTok, you should. He is just like drops like gold all the time. But he started talking about greenrow.com, and I thought I knew like all the home decor sites. I didn't know about this, and I was so impressed. Their prices are incredible. They have such great quality stuff for a good price, and it's different and unique. And like that is really the Ralph Lauren style, right? It's not like the typical box. I won't say any names, but it's not your like typical home decor that you see everywhere. It's like the most unique, different pieces that he has combined and collected over the years. And that's what makes a Ralph Lauren home. And you can do this. You can just start collecting now. Like if you don't have a huge budget, that's okay. I like to start small and then you work your way through the house, okay? Because let me tell you, you're gonna end up at that place you began with and redo it anyways. Like that is the beauty of interior design, is that it takes years and years and it's always evolving. It evolves with you. So think of it in that way and you'll get less frustrated. Trust me, there's so many spaces that I want to redo, but you know, it's life and we have to take them piece by piece. So yeah, that is just like a few places that I love to shop for rugs, and then the big art. And I have just so enjoyed talking with you, and I'm so glad you're here. And I can't wait to see you next week. We're going to talk about what to buy and where to buy it, because that's what we were originally going to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed this, and then I'll see you soon. Come check me out. Let's get talking in the chat, okay? Let's get talking in the chat.